The Odyssey is an epic poem traditionally attributed to the ancient Greek writer Homer. Whether or not Homer actually existed is an open question nowadays, but if he did, he likely lived in the 8th century BCE. His two epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey, are the oldest complete literary works still widely enjoyed by modern readers. Like the Iliad, the Odyssey is a poem in dactylic hexameters, 6 groups of long and short syllables. Of course, if translated poetry is not your cup of tea, there are excellent English prose versions. While the Iliad describes the Greek siege of the city of Troy, the action in the Odyssey takes place afterwards, as one of the Greek heroes, Odysseus, Ulysses in Latin, the king of the island of Ithaca, attempts to return home. The book begins with what's been happening on Ithaca since Odysseus left, and it's not a happy picture. Many people consider him dead, and his wife Penelope is surrounded by over 100 suitors who want to marry her and thus claim the throne. They're eating her out of house and home. Odysseus' son, Telemachus, no more knows what to do than his mother does. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that on his way home, Odysseus offended the god Poseidon, ruler of the seas, by blinding his son, a cyclops called Polyphemus, after Polyphemus tried to eat him and his men. Poseidon's now doing his best to stop Odysseus ever returning home. Luckily, Odysseus has a champion in the form of the goddess of wisdom and military strategy, Athena. One day, when Poseidon's absent from Mount Olympus, Athena pleads Odysseus' case with her father Zeus, the king of the gods. Zeus gives her permission to bring him home. She then appears to Telemachus to urge him to look for his father. Telemachus leaves Ithaca in search of news. The suitors plan to kill him when he returns. What then follows is a retelling, partly by Odysseus himself, of his misadventures at sea. Nearly everything's magical. The world's populated by gods, demigods, sea nymphs, witches, and monsters, nearly all of whom are out to stall or even to kill the hero. At one point, in an attempt to gain information, Odysseus summons the dead. Much of the mythology here has deeply permeated Western culture. We recognize it easily, even elsewhere, without necessarily being able to identify its source. Both the Iliad and the Odyssey feature strong women. Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite play a significant part in the Trojan War, and Achilles' mother is a continual influence. Apart from Penelope and Athena, the most impressive woman in the Odyssey is probably the witch Circe, who initially tries to turn Odysseus and his men into pigs. She succeeds with half of them, but Odysseus has been forearmed by the god Hermes, and he's immune. Thereafter, she and Odysseus become firm allies. Some scholars have seen an interplay in the two books between the Greek notions of nostos, or homecoming, and kleos, an everlasting fame earned on the battlefield. In the Iliad, Achilles realizes he has to choose one or the other. He plumps for everlasting fame. However, the Odyssey shows that homecoming may be equally demanding. Even so, it's not as demanding for Odysseus as it is for Agamemnon, the king who led the Greeks against Troy. When Agamemnon gets home, he's immediately murdered by his wife and her lover. In 2018, when the BBC asked experts worldwide to nominate up to 5 fictional stories they felt had shaped mindsets or influenced history, the Odyssey came top. But it's not just an influential story. Astonishingly, after nearly 3 millennia, don't ask me how, it's still a gripping one.